His Excellency Honorable Henry Seriake, Dickson, Governor of Bayelsa State, and Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will now take the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, President Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR, our own President. Your Excellency, Right Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson, Executive Governor of Bayelsa State, my leaders, for want of time and knowing the kind of tight schedule that you run, please permit me to stand on already established protocol. PDP! Power to the people! He's a ye power me up and me amenia. Your Excellencies, it is with great joy and appreciation to God, the giver of life, and to you both and the entire composition of the Elders Committee, Bayelsa State Chapter of PDP, that I am privileged today as chairman of the party in the state to welcome you to this all-important meeting. As we all know, the Elders Committee is a constitutional provision in our party's constitution. It is a committee that is vital in the operation of the activities of the party in every state chapter. And it is in the view of that the leader of the party in the state, Right Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson, requested us, the ESCO, to ensure that this meeting was called. And for all of you to have obliged us this privilege by leaving all the activities that you have to honor our invitation. It's clear to us that there is no other party of substance in Bayelsa State. If you look around us now, look at the caliber of people that are seated in this hall. By the making of divinity, we have a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria seated with us. By the grace of God, we have a sitting governor, Right Honorable Seriake Dickson, seated with us in this hall. By the grace of God, we are former deputy governors. I can see my elder brother, Right Honorable Peremabowe Baby, seated here. I can equally see former speakers. Right Honorable Boyelife Adebekeme is here. Right Honorable Kwambawe Benson is here. I will continue to count and to count and to count. But this is a clear reflection of the caliber of persons that make up this party, which no other party can ever challenge in this state. I think that we deserve a round of applause. Well, since this is the first day I am privileged to be in this level of meeting at the state level since I became chairman, I think that my elders and fathers, I owe to explain to you that the party PDP, which you enshrined into our hands to manage in the last 3 years plus and counting, is safe, is healthy, is united. We are all working together as state ESCO. That is the healthy nature of the party that you all belong to. Going further, let me equally announce to you that the party has proven its might in the capacity to win elections, as it was clearly reflected in the last general elections. As one that is privileged to be chairman of the party, let me say it once again. There was no election that was contested in the last general election that your party, our party, lost. Not in any ward, not in any state assembly, not in any federal constituency. In everywhere that elections were conducted, we want to announce to you that the PDP won elections. Going forward, let me plead with this House on behalf of the state ESCO to please thank the leader of the party at the state level for us. If I don't say this, it will not be fair. That your party that we are privileged to manage in the last 3.5 years have not lacked anything that we needed to function as a party. Right Honorable Seriake Dickson, Governor of Bayelsa State, have ensured that from the ward level to the local government level, to the state level, to the zonal level, and even to the national that we have a slot, every one of us are properly catered for. And we believe he deserves a round of applause. I wouldn't want to bore you with long speech. I have my fathers that I've always looked on to as mentors seated beside me. It is my singular honor and privilege to thank you, my leaders. I was reading about you on papers, seeing you on television screens. But look at me now. Today I am privileged to be seated beside you. I was always thinking that the protocol unit was setting me up, and I was pinching myself to be sure whether I'm seated beside my mentors. Thank you for the honor and privilege to sit beside you. One thing, we want to covenant with you in the discharge of the party activities as enshrined in the Constitution. We shall never, ever fail you. One resolve we have taken: this state, Bayelsa State, have been a PDP state. We became ESCO members under PDP. We have a government of PDP. We have covenanted. This state must be handed over to another PDP government before we will ever rest. And we have agreed, all of us, whatsoever sacrifice that we as ESCO members shall pay for us to realize this our desire, we are available and willing to bear that pay. It is on that note, my leaders, I want to welcome you to today's meeting, as my leaders will take charge of the meeting. in my usual manner, I will sit down and observe and learn how leaders run affairs of politics. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Power to the people. Power to Bayelsa State. Power to the John Nation. Power to the women. Power to us the men. Thank you very much. Our leader, Maoga, all the time. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR from the great state of Bayelsa. Thank you for being here, sir. Let me recognize my dependable ally and partner, the Deputy Governor, State Chairman, who is now Chemo, the members of the National Assembly, the members of the party's board, the Speaker and all the members, the leadership of the Assembly, and all our leaders, in no particular order. Let me round up the order of protocol by saying, my dear leaders and members of the State Elders Committee here today assembled, gentlemen of the press, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And Noah, first I would like to join the Chemo in welcoming and receiving all of you for this formal inaugural meeting of the party's Elders Committee of the state. And while welcoming you all, I want to specially welcome Mr. President, who had to put aside other activities to be here with us because of the importance of this meeting, the importance of the issues that we will be discussing and handling from now on. I want to thank all of you, firstly, for the support and cooperation that I and the government of our party has enjoyed all these years and still counting. I want to especially thank all of you, the leaders of our party, for being there for me as leader of the government of our party and the leader of the government team. Because at every turn, we have never, none of our leaders have failed to give support, give advice, give encouragement. And which is why, as you all know, we're making the modest gains that we have made and still continue to make. I thank you also for your hard work and your dedication, your commitment to the ideals of our party, the support that you all gave to our candidates, and for standing by our party in all the elections we have held, especially the last one. And you know, times are very different from when we were in power. Now in opposition since 2015, we know what we have been going through. For those of you who were with us, a number of you who are here were not with us 2015, when we braved all known odds to defeat the APC with the federal backing, and as they came to take over this state by force. Most of you who are seated, majority of you, were with us and went around the nooks and crannies of our state, and we faced fire in our communities, in our polling units, in our wards, in our local government, everywhere. all our people were hounded and humiliated and harassed. But because of your abiding faith and commitment to the party, even when they wrote us off, God wrote us in and the people stood by us. So I thank you all for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They thought they were going to take Bayelsa by force. But we showed them that as the Ijaw people, we're a people of steel, people with an iron determination, people that cannot be intimidated and conquered. Now, since then, you see, I want to especially thank you for this. Because if our government had been terminated the way and manner they wanted, 2015, most of the landmark benefits that now accrue to our people, you wouldn't have seen them. Including this building. Including this building. Took us 5 years to do this building. When, because of the cost of this building, Julius Berger gave with the plans, they told me 15 billion. I said, no, that's too much. I won't do it. Mr. President, you were visiting that day. I was receiving you. And I whispered to you and said, no matter the cost, try and manage and do it too. Because our state needs a standard governor's office. And I'm happy that we did just that. So it's with pride that I welcome you, I welcome all of you to this landmark, beautiful governor's office, the best governor's office you can find in the whole country. And because we had an opportunity to start a second term, you can see the benefits in all sectors flowing. Our state is stable. Our state is on the right path in all sectors. But we are now at another critical juncture. Another critical juncture where we must come together again. And if you check the reports, if you even look at all of us here assembled, you will see the evidence of an inclusive party. For a man who went into an election like that, the very first of its kind in this state, the very first time we were going into opposition and running an election against the party backed by the center, the very first time we went through that kind of challenge, you can see that today, if you look at the faces, even some of our friends and brothers and party men who for one reason or the other were not with us, are with us today. And we have been receiving and welcoming everybody. So let me report to you all that our party today is more united than ever, stronger today, more inclusive today than ever before. And our party, with all our leaders, all of us, in one roof. Who are the people on the other side? If you take a census of all of us, and we all join hands in one accord, who are the people on the other side? None. And so we make bold to tell the world, as I always do, this state is PDP territory, and with the way we are moving forward, there's no doubt that at the end of my service, there's no doubt that, as chairman said, that we are going to hand over, no doubt at all, that the only party that has the capacity to win and retain power if there will be an election is our party, the People's Democratic Party. My dear leaders, let me also, as head of the government of your party, report to you what you already know, the great strides that are made in all sectors, stability that is unparalleled, can see the party united under the leadership of our Shemo. Please, a round of applause for them. These gentlemen have done so very well, and we are proud of them in the new Bayelsa we have created. We are very proud of them. No divisions, all of them working together in one accord. The House of Assembly, whose newest speaker is here with us today, not so new, it's his third term in the House, leading a united House. That is the government your party has been running. And you look at the executive arm that I share. This building contains both my office and that of my deputy. And the two of us have been staying here, not locking horns in a battle, but working together as necessary partners that we are for the good of our people. My dear brothers, this is quite new. All of this is new to the politics of this state. This state, before now, has been known more for fighting in party, in fighting in an assembly, in fighting even in the executive arm. But by the grace of God, and with our inclusive style, and a style that focuses on the results and the benefits of our people, not on personal ego, not on unnecessary fights, not on unnecessary divisions. We are focused on the essential task for which we were elected. So today, we have a stable party, stable assembly, stable organs of government, and today is another demonstration of that inclusivity that we have promoted in our politics up until now. There are so many states you go that you can't take this for granted. I don't know if it is one man or two people, three people running shows. Here, we run our party according to the rules of the party. According to the rules of the party. 2 days ago, as you all know, the SEC of your party met again in one of our several meetings. Always meeting, taking decisions, agreeing and disagreeing, but moving forward as one. And at that meeting, we ratified candidates of our party for the next elections, assembly, councillorship, local government elections, and so on and so forth, as a party. Today, we are here to put heads together and to formally inaugurate the party's Elders Advisory Committee, which by its very nature is very important. That's why it's provided for in the Constitution. And all of you have been carefully selected as prescribed by the Constitution. No discrimination. No discrimination. So for those who are out there sowing seeds of discord, who are promoting stories of division, imaginary discord and division, to advance personal agendas and interests, today's meeting will go out to tell the story, tell the world the story, that Bayelsa PDP is united. Bayelsa PDP, as always, is focused on working together to win the next general elections for the governorship of our state. Yes, people must have interests. Those interests are legitimate, must be respected. And for those who write imaginary stories about an imposition, this meeting should tell everybody the way we have embraced everybody, including those who disagreed with us, the way we make appointments even to join the government of the party from 2012 till now, should tell everybody that our party will follow its rules. And at the end of the day, those that God Almighty has destined to lead us, who have the support of the people, will emerge. And so it shall be in Jesus' name. Yeah. Our party is united, strong, and working together. Now, but let me remind our leaders, you know, in this hall, our leader has the greatest range of experience at the national level. He has seen it all, both from here and national level. But here, by the grace of God, I am today the longest serving governor of this state now. And you know why I say this? Is to remind us that we are not in a familiar territory. No. You have to constantly realize that where the state is, we are not used to being where we are. This is the first time we have a governor who did first tenure, second tenure, and is now superintending a transition. We have not been at this point in time. If you look around, all states around us, they've been through this once, twice, thrice, and so on. But not Bayelsa. Not Bayelsa. So please, in what you say and what you do, and in the politics that you play, bear in mind that this state is going through this only, unfortunately, for the first time. But we shall come out of it stronger, and we shall come out of it well in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, what that means is that we have a lot of work to do, a lot of lessons to learn and to teach ourselves. Number one lesson is unity. Number one lesson is willingness to subordinate personal interests for the overall interests of the group and the party. Third lesson is respect for constituted authority and respect for the organs and the processes of the party. It is within these general confines that you pursue an agenda or an ambition which is legitimate. But an ambition should not be at the expense of our party and our state. And you all know that we are going through very interesting times even in this country. So I call for unity, call for greater commitment to unifying our party, not dividing it in what we say and what we do, especially for those who want to be our next leaders. And in this hall, President is our big oga. He has gone over it. And luckily on the governorship, by the constitutional rules, I am also ineligible. But for as many in this hall that may be interested, and that's why I'm removing both of us, for as many in this hall that may be interested, ambitions are legitimate. But please, at all times, know that what is paramount to us is our unity, is the good image that we have worked hard to retrieve for our party and for our state. Because this state is like the bedrock of our party. So I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for your audience. And Mr. President, once again, thank you for finding time to be here and for all the advice and encouragement that you have always given to me and all others. Thank you very much as we welcome you formally to start the meeting. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. His Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa State, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, members of the National Assembly that are here with us, the Right Honorable Speaker, my former Deputy Governor, Premabo Yobebi, in fact, the party chairman, I'm sorry, maybe because my governor is covering me, because this is the party function, so you are the number one here. And other very senior members of the party, let me not bore you with the protocol, because anybody that is in this doesn't deserve to be mentioned in terms of protocol recognition, but because of the time. So thank all of you for coming. But let me use this opportunity to appreciate the governor for this office I'm saying so because this is the first day I'm entering the office. And luckily, all of us here were a part of the story of this state from 1996. Then, of course, as politicians, we took over May 1999. I knew that we used a bungalow, a party secretariat, as the government house office and so on. The governor started from living in a bungalow, the deputy governor bungalow. That is how we started, and now the state has taken shape. We are now in the standard office. The governor is also residing in the standard house. So Bayelsa State is progressing. I thank the governor very sincerely. I always say that if you have the opportunity to be a head somewhere, president or governor, chairman of council, or other position, you should be able to add value to the environment. Yes, you may come up with policies and so on too, but history should also have something to show that you did that. And that's why if you go to the State House, even though the State House was built long ago by Julius Berger, but have to build a very good banquet hall, which they are using now. So I appreciate the governor for this. Let me also thank the governor, the party leaders, and all of you here for the various roles you played towards the last election. Because we had no governorship elections, but the National Assembly elections and the presidential election, as a state, we did our best. Let me thank you. And for coming today in these numbers, because I believe this information got to some of you today, because I remember up to yesterday, I'm sure the governor was still talking about some of the people to be invited, and most of you are here. That shows how committed you are for the progress of not just the party, but the progress of the state. Today we are here to inaugurate the Elders Advisory Council, and I believe we'll give somebody who is competent to chair this council. The Elders Advisory Council is a mini board of trustees at the state level, and normally they don't have too many offices. I'm indeed happy when they did this the last amendment of the Constitution and they incorporated this Elders Advisory Council. I did not participate in the amendment, but I remember when I went to Abuja as the vice president, I sent a memo to caucus after, and one of the things I raised was that most of the problems we have at the state level is conflicts. But in most cases, you don't have people that have the authority to resolve these conflicts. So there's the need to have the mini BOTs at the state level. The party should have a way of selecting some elders. And I always advise that sometimes people at the center, there tend to be friction between governors and people at the center, because there's always this fear that godfathers will not want to give governors second tenure. So immediately you elect a governor, the first thing the governor will want to do is to consolidate his hold and push the other people, and you see this tension. I say that for PDP to survive, for us to reduce this tension, the PDP must come up with a standard way of assessing our governors. Anybody that at least meet up the minimum requirement should be given automatic ticket. So a governor would not be afraid that somebody will want to give him a second ticket and start infighting. The governor will want to carry everybody along, because the main fight will be the general elections. PDP spends too much time in primaries, and most other parties don't spend so much resources and energy during their primaries, and because of that they are more coercive. Because if you fight bitterly during primaries, it's always difficult to make amends. But somehow the memo was presented. Not everybody agree, but in a way, I know some of the big fathers are not too comfortable with that, so it was killed. So when this amendment came up and talked about the Elders Advisory Council, I felt quite pleased. And because I know that the Elders Advisory Council will play a key role in terms of resolving disputes among us. There's no way we'll play politics and we'll have everybody will go the same direction. It's never happened in the history of man. But while we are pursuing our interests, we should do that considering the interests of the party. And for Bayelsa State, we really have a lot of challenge, because we know, like Governor said, we are in opposition. The center want to use the federal mind to do the worst. I remember when we were to do the governorship elections, came to me, Mr. President, we learned that they have already written results, that they are just waiting to announce APC. I said, forget about this rumor. Yes, people can say so many things, but if we are strong and we are committed, by God's grace, we will win. And luckily, we also won. So the elections are coming again, and I know they will do all what it takes to take over. Just like the governor himself said, if you look at the caliber of people in this hall, this is Bayelsa State. Talk about the politics. Our traditional rulers are not here. But when you talk about the key actors, even if you look at the list, even from when we were in the old River State to Bayelsa State, the people here are the real cream de la cream of the Bayelsa politics. So if by popular support, no other party will win. Other party will win if we have a major crack in-house and one group decides to work against the general interest of the party. But I plead with us, because that's one of the things that the Elders Council must really bear in mind, how to midwife the governorship elections that are coming up very quickly. And I believe collectively we'll be able to do that. Because the South level, of course, those states, and it has been in the hands of APC for quite some time. When the elections were coming, people were afraid of Cross River State. But luckily, we got in Cross River State, got in Akwa Ibom, River State, and Delta. And everybody who matter in PDP, whenever they talk to me, they say, look, you people have to do everything to retain the state. And I believe with all of us here, with the governor showing the commitment he has always been showing in terms of the politics of the state, by God's grace, we will win. The key thing is for us to play the politics as brothers and sisters, people from the same womb, as cousins, as nephews. And I believe we'll do that. I will not bore you so much today until maybe at an appropriate time when we will have proper meetings. Because today is actually to inaugurate the Board of Trustees. When we inaugurate them, they will be able to set the proper agenda for us so that discussions will have a proper direction. So once again, thank the governor, thank the party chairman, deputy governor, and all of you who are here. I'm happy that two people who are the members of the Board of Trustees at the center are here with us, and they will be able to guide the Elder Advisory Council in terms of deliberations and focus, because the BOT at the center is a specialized organ of the party and more of advisory organ. And we have some experienced people who have been members. At least 3 of us have been members of the BOT before. So we know that the Elders Advisory Council of Bayelsa State will be one of the best in the country. I thank the governor for initiating this formal inauguration, and I believe very sincerely that this body will help in midwifing the affairs of the party. Once again, I thank all of you.
Stand up and appreciate our president, please. Mr. Chairman, let me remind you that you are presiding. Myself and Oga are here to give you support. So, next agenda, I believe, is the formal nominations. Okay? So we can get their views. But let me, before you do that, give some background to it. Chief Alamesea of blessed memory, departed governor, who was the first to fly the PDP flag and fought to win the governorship for our party. He was chairman of the Elders Advisory Committee. That then we were up in Abuja. So he used to organize the elders, chaired it, photograph is proudly displayed there. One of the founding leaders of our state. When he passed on, unfortunately, in the way and manner that he passed on, we had to hurriedly make a replacement. But we never really formalized it because we were in the heat of the elections. Elections. And the person who was penciled to head the committee at that time, even though we've not had time to inaugurate it since, but for now it is very important we do so, as the president has said. And that person is AVM Larry Konya, one of the oldest, one of the foundation leaders of our party, and who has been a BOT member for as long as the party's BOC has existed. So, Mr. Chairman, I leave it to you to announce the decision of your working committee so that we can discuss it and formally ratify it and then move forward. Thank you.
Just as we have heard, right from the demise of our former leader, Chief Lamesia, who was chairman of this committee, our leader, EVM Larry Konya, have been performing that assignment for us until now, doing it well. It is in the view of that, we as working committee members who have met, we discussed, and substantially initiated the move that he has been acting there. And now that we are almost getting into elections, for us not to rock the boat, that he should be nominated to serve as the chairman of the Elders Committee. And that decision is what we are communicating to the House for consideration. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Let's take some views, and if there's any counter nomination, we hear it. Otherwise, a formal motion, adoption, so that we. Yep, a baby, go on. Huh? Oh, it will not work? Okay, then put it formally. So take the motion, a baby. Okay, Chief Okoroche, you want to move formally?
Your Excellencies, let me stand on a well-established protocol. As our able and dynamic chairman has put it, he has been acting, he has been doing well, he has all the credentials to be a leader of the Elders Committee. He has been at the board level for a long time. By profession, he's gone to the top. Was once a member of the Supreme Council. He has all the credentials, and I believe that it will give our council great stature and will succeed under him. I hereby formally move that AVR Larry Konya be elected here as the chairman of the Elders Committee provided for under Section 23 of our party constitution. I so move.
I remain Diri Daoye. Their Excellencies, I rise to second the motion that AVM Larry Konya take the chair of the Elders Council. I so second.
Two senior legislators have spoken. Any counter motion? Well, in the absence of any counter motion and with the permission of Mr. President, let me put the question. Those in support of the nomination say aye. Aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Well, let me inform also that when Chief Alamisa passed on and we had to make those improvised arrangements, we called on another indefatigable elder, the veteran, timeless Chief TKO, technical knockout, to help us just manage with AVM at that time. And if there were major issues, two of them should put their heads together and coordinate elders. But we never formalized it. Today, with the approach of the elections, our view is that the nomination for the secretary position should come from outside Bayelsa West because of the seasons. And we want to jealously protect our cohesion and give a sense of belonging to everybody. So we maybe we will allow the floor to nominate. We'll allow the chairman. You brief us. Brief us.
PDP. Power to the people. All of us that are under this roof, under this leadership, is aware that our responsibility is to see how the party functions on a daily basis. But in issues or matters of constitution, whatever we look at is not final. We'll bring it up for consideration. And that is what we are doing. And in the view of this, knowing that this question shall be asked, that our people that are managing the party, what are your thought lines? Let us hear from you so that we'll know if they are not okay, we can ask questions or we can make a change. We are of the opinion that since our father, AVM, is proposed to continue in the good work that he has done, and just as His Excellency has mentioned, we thought of it that he's from Bayelsa West. And in the view of this, we felt that the secretaryship position should move away from Bayelsa West. And therefore, we thought that Right Honorable Talford Ongolo should serve as secretary to AVM Larry Konya. That has been our thought line. I so support.
To do it. Well, he's holding a very busy office. That's what myself and Oga were putting our heads together, the chief of staff. But maybe for now, we can make it an acting one for now. So that subsequently, maybe at other meetings, we would have thought out this. So at least let's enable them to call meetings and function for now. Is that okay? So that if it becomes maybe at another meeting we can, but for now, and we don't want it to be like it's one type of elective thing. So if it is okay, we can ratify that for now as an acting secretary of the Elders Committee, pending any further decision we may take along the line. If that is acceptable, let somebody propose it accordingly so that unfortunately, the Constitution does not provide for a deputy. Because what we think says chairman and secretary. So so that is the thing. But if we have that now, and some of the people were considering like Chief Enat, is he here, Senator? What? He had just been drafted. I've drafted you to INC race. So we have considered, those are the constraints we have now but I'm sure with within a short time, we'll have greater clarity on some of these things. So let somebody formally move. Okay. The right of the House.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our leaders. I am Right Honorable Tonye Emmanuel Isena. We here nominated an experienced and, like His Excellency just mentioned, a veteran, someone who has held various positions in the state and function effectively in such positions. Even at now, functioning as the Chief of Staff, is also doing very well. On that note, I hereby move and made move that the Right Honorable Tadford Ongolo function as the acting secretary of the PDP State Elders Council. I so move.
This motion should be seconded by any former Ogri. Boye, I'm seeing your hand, but a speaker should not second another speaker because you'll be speaking too much. Please do go.
Your Excellencies, I stand on the Dickson protocol. My chair that is doing very well. I salute you. Having moved that Right Honorable Tadford Ngolo should be the acting secretary, I, Deacon James Dugo, support and second the move that has been moved by my dear brother, the Right Honorable Speaker. I so support.
Thank you. Thank you for seconding that motion. Now, any counter motion? We are showing democracy in our party that is not there in the other side. After all, this is the father of democracy is here. In the absence of any counter motion, those in support say aye. Aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on this note that may we stand for the chairman to formally inaugurate us. PDP.
Having gone through the process of nomination and election, we have elected our chairman of State Elders Committee, AVM Larry Konya, and Right Honorable Tadford Ongolo to function as acting secretary. It is on this note by the powers conferred on me as chairman of the party in this state, I hereby inaugurate you as chairman, acting secretary, and members of the Bayelsa State PDP Elders Committee. Congratulations once again.